One who will be having technical difficulties today. My game crashed. Hopefully it can actually load back into the lobby. It's just taking a minute. There we go. Holy cow. So now all of the qualifying times are going to look super jumbled because it just pretends that the last 6 minutes didn't happen. That 45.3 might be the pole, but I kind of doubt it. Honestly, my best bet is just to save my breath for like the final couple of minutes, because that's when I know everybody will be on their final runs. So I can assure you that Adam Pelk is not second on the leaderboard right now, and I don't think that AJ Knickel will be below Kyle Voyles. If I'm not mistaken, I think... oh, okay, never mind. With the exception of Wild Card, every team that is present today has... oh, no, ECR. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say every team that's present has at least 2 runners, but no, there's only one ECR driver, Adam Pelk, and only one Wild Card Autosport driver, which somewhere is Aiden McCarthy. Okay, so I think the 45.3 might actually be the current pole time, and it's not just lying to our faces. Might be. Kepley has found some sand. Yoshi runs a 45 flat, and immediately darts back to the pit lane. .48.2 on Ganesh. Why did that camera look so weird? I guess because he was coming out of the pit lane, but that just... I don't know, that looked off for some reason. That is using every inch of allowed curbing there from Ridwan. Maybe a little more than he should have used. I feel like that was probably a bit too much curb for his own good. It looks like Ridwan's going to be the first driver to take the end of the session. It's going to be really close. Unless he sets a lap record, this is the end of his session right here. Floor it down the hill. Time has expired. And he only puts in a 46.8. But that was probably not actually what he set. My voice is going to be absolutely annihilated by the end of this. Yeah, I can't really call much of anything, because if anybody set their best laps in the first... I also can't read. That was an 8, not a 9. So, okay, that's just cool. Right. Yeah, good job, Riker. In case you didn't know, we're doing a 9-minute qualifying session today. Looks like those 3 cars will get to the finish line. Maybe not, because the Honda's pulled off. I think Voyles tried to end his session there and just didn't. He just did not. He did not wait long enough. I'm not really sure. So Yoshi's session is done. I don't know if the 45.0 is actually the pole time or not. There's a driver, that would be Adam Pelk crossing, but I couldn't get the camera to him in time. Next to a cross is Jonas Idkonen. And he does not topple Yoshi. His team owner heads through Casio Triangle, and he misses, as far as I can tell, out on pole. Two of the, oh no, never mind, that's not who that is behind him. That's Aiden McCarthy behind Luke Allen as they're heading out of Spoon Curve. Who's the car in the chicane? That is, oh, there's two cars there. Oh my god, how many cars are there? Somebody has spun. Joel Grant spins and has a rejoin of all time that may have disrupted whoever that was behind him. Kevin Kepley crosses. I don't think he's actually in last. I think it's just that he didn't set any more valid laps in the time I've been back in the lobby, and yeah. So Voiles is on auto drive, taking his sweet time heading through the triangle, and that rounds out qualifying, but I really can't gauge much because I didn't even see half of it. Well, I saw half of it, but I couldn't actually gauge what the lap times were because they got undone from what I can actually see on my screen. So I don't actually know if Yoshi is your pole sitter. There's a decent chance that Ridwan ran a sub 45 while I wasn't in the lobby, in which case he's on pole. I have no worldly idea. But I guess we'll find out in a handful of minutes once the grid gets set. And, you know, we'll just go over the actual grid order on the formation lap, which should be relatively long here at Suzuka, since it's, you know, it's already like almost a minute, it's a minute 45 per lap if you're really fast. So imagine that if you're not going very fast because you're under safety car. The automatically generated thumbnail for this stream actually looks like kind of a decent picture. Not gonna lie. And, excuse me, other than, you know, the HUD that's on the screen. Okay, so now I can actually look at the results, and that does not line up with that. Yeah, this says Red1 ran a 44.79, a lap time that I was not privy to because it was run before I rejoined the server. So it's just an FR top 3 lockout. I reckon we'll have to get used to seeing that. Aiden McCarthy, AJ Knickel, Gary Ladimirak, 7, 9, 10 for CL7. Kepley leads Marcus Snow, then Luke Allen, with Adam Pelk stuck in the middle at 8th. Killian Watterson, 11th. Okay, I guess I won't read the starting grid then. What is happening? Okay, are we sure? Can I click the spectate button now? Are we absolutely certain? Okay then. How incredibly unserious. Get used to that, because I'm getting a little delirious. Surely this time you've gotten it, right? This is like my 8th time turning on the display race. Are we okay? I do not know what is going on. I have no mouth, yet I am a scream. sleepy, a little bit annoyed. Ridwan has left the room. Not sure what in the world is going on. All I know is this is just delaying. This is making me have to wait longer to get into bed because this is adding time onto the stream. Everyone is back in the room. And for his sake, I hope he's here to stay. For the sake of competition, we could do with it crashing again. Oh, I said Ridwan, not Yoshi and Kyle. Crashing in, would this be like the warm-up session? The shakedown that? I don't even know what you'd call this. If you go by really, really old NASCAR terminology, this is just a very, very brief happy hour. I think they're done figuring things out. Yeah, here we go. Okay. For reals this time. My throat needs Powerade. Alright, and here when my throat would like to clear, so I may speak properly. And the formation lap. Ridwan and Boryoshi are being unserious. We have teammate beef. What? Well, we're in Japan, so it seems appropriate to say this. Nani? Anyway, whatever that nautical nonsense that was aside, Ridwan is the pole sitter, although I never actually saw it happen. Pixar, it didn't happen, Ridwan. His teammate Boryoshi starts second, and his other teammate, Jonas Idkunen, starts third. Why is Jonas's number board in a different place? My OCD does not like that. Aiden McCarthy starts fourth, the leading Lexus, ahead of all other Hondas somehow. AJ is the leading Honda in fifth, followed by Gary Laudamirak, and then four consecutive Nissans of Kevin Kepley, Adam Pelk, Marcus Snow, and Luke Allen. Kevin Watterson on his, I think, debut starts 11th, Robbie Ganesh 12th, Joel Grant 13th. Kyle Voiles rounds out the grid. The anti-lags continue to go absolutely insane. I feel like we're going to be hearing that a lot this stream. Just in this championship in general, I feel like the anti-lag system is just very, very loud, and we're going to be hearing a lot of it. The field is bunched up 2 by 2, 7 rows deep. Not the greatest attendance, but I imagine part of that is due to the fact that the race check-in went in really late, and a lot of people didn't know the race was even happening. Such as myself. up until like an hour and 10 minutes before race start. But speaking of race start, whenever Ridwan is ready, that is exactly what we will have. And there you have it, we are green from Suzuka for the first round of the ARC Super GT Championship. And Yoshi was not prepared for that race start at all, but Aiden McCarthy sure was. He's going to be bump drafting Yoshi into turn 1. He is wide, he is finding the AstroTurf. That's not the racing surface, I hate to inform you. That's going to lose him a decent chunk of spots, demotes him from 3rd to 7th. By simply missing the first turn of the race. Yeah, you kind of get that, I suppose. It's an emphasis thing. Either one is technically correct. Also, Marcus Snow had a spin on lap 1. You can literally emphasize any consonant of this track's name, and it sounds like a different name, but it's still Suzuka, or Suzuka, or Suzuka. I don't know. Ask the Japanese. Anyway, looks like Nickel is getting right up to the diffuser of the Finnish driver ahead. We'll see if he has a look-see down the inside. Goes the Honda, but he cannot convert. That is Luke Allen rejoined. Good thing they're ghosted. That was a rejoin. And Ravi Ganesh and Kyle Boyles will play follow the leader with the CL7 driver. And we look like a bunch of lemmings out there, just forgetting where the chicane is on the racetrack. Adam Pelp running 5th is insane work, considering the strength of the field. I think the second longest tenured driver here. We are under safety car, probably for the multitude of drivers that missed Casio Triangle. And the fact that at least 1 or 2 of them probably hit those tire walls on the outside. Couldn't really tell. The perspective I got from the trackside camera really didn't want to look that way, so I couldn't actually see if there was any impact made. Oh my god, the anti-lag! Who's making popcorn in one of those, like, movie theater machines? That's what I always hear when I just hear an anti-lag going nuts. I suppose Luke's logic was his car is ghosted, you can just rejoin however he wants. It's not exactly the right logic, though. Generally speaking, ARC reserves the right to penalize ghosted cars as though they are not ghosted. And he should know that. Dude, these anti-lag systems are going to give me a migraine again. It'll be my second one of the day. One dummies the pit lane, which is surprising he doesn't go in since he's the one on mediums. And again, it's not like softs will be getting anywhere near the end from here. Who did go in? Yoshi, Knickel, Allen, and Snow pit in. Yoshi gets onto the mediums, AJ gets onto the softs, Luke Allen gets onto the softs, and Marcus Snow gets onto the softs. I don't think that really means a whole lot at this stage, though, if you've done your mandatory stop or not, because unless it's a fuel calculation thing on their part, neither mediums nor softs will be doing 22 laps of green flag racing, and you don't really want to try and rely on caution flags, because there aren't really usually a ton in GT7's ARC leagues as compared to other ARC leagues when they're done manually in other games. I don't know why I specified when they're done manually. The only game I can think of where they're not done manually is F1. Even that isn't fully automatic, so yeah. We might be going green right here. The back of the field has caught up, so I don't really see much reason why we wouldn't be. I'm not getting comfortable in my chair and stuff while we wait for the race to resume. I really should not be doing that. I am asking to just doze off mid-broadcast, which would, it wouldn't be the first time, and we are green for the second time from Suzuka. Ridwan weaving, trying to break the toe as best he can. I don't know if he really has to worry too much about it. Itkinen's not really that close to him. Yeah, no, I've decided I'm not leaning back in my chair, I'm not having my blanket on, I'm not doing any of that. I know where that goes. That ends in a sleeping commentator. Because I have done it before. And it is, frankly, embarrassing. We'll see if Itkinen has something to offer his team owner here in the early running. He certainly looks like he does. He's only about 2/10 off. He's able to basically drop kick his diffuser with how close he is, but Spoon Curve is not the safest passing zone, especially not on a teammate. That's something you might pull out on the final lap or two. Not lap 4 against your team owner, unless you put in your 2 weeks. I don't think Itkinen has done that, though. As Aiden McCarthy is trying to steal third back from Adam Pelk. You'll have the inside for 130R, and the car will hold. Adam Pelk, his car did not hold, and so Kevin Kepley will steal fourth away from him. This race already kind of has the makings of, we pretty much know the podium, who's going to get fourth. Fourth will be best of the rest, and it's literally just, is your car teal or not? My controller just tried to leave my workspace. Yoshi up to 7th place after his caution flag pit stop, ahead of the pair of Vision 47 drivers. I'm curious to see if Aiden can attempt to get up to the 2 leaders. Ridwan is pacing the field on mediums, so if Eunice is faster, but Ridwan remains in his way. They will probably be losing time to McCarthy if he can get on his horse. No, we're sitting up. That looked like a better run for Itkinen. Nope, it's slight advantage to the one car, so no real shot at a pass at turn one this time. Unless Slipstream does some real heavy lifting, but I don't think it will. And even if it did, I don't think Itkinen would go for that. Adam Pelk's thinking about it. Adam Pelk is doing it, getting into the back of the 27 car. Ultimately, no real harm done, I suppose. And that camera already gives you a decent idea of what the difference is between third and fourth. One must wonder how Yoshi is coping with being stuck back here, though. I don't know that this was the right call because of that fact. So my controller tries to flee again. Ridwan very squarely out of the hairpin. Jonas Itkinen will not get too many better chances than this, considering how close he is to that car. 7/100ths between them as they hit the brakes. And Jonas sends his teammate off the road. He will allow Ridwan to rejoin the circuit back ahead of him. Controller, come on! Stop that! I'm actively fighting my hardware. And actively fighting my own body, too, at this point. And as brief as it was, that battle between Jonas and Ridwan has allowed Aiden to crawl into this fight. And he's got a, outsider's perspective on it all. He also has a half-second time penalty, presumably from botching the chicane, though, so... no development into turn one. Jonas is not going to be close enough to challenge. Looking further back, Vladimirak versus AJ Knickel, and Knickel will just muscle his way by at turn one. Slight contact was made, but that could just as easily have been incidental or even just netcode. Everything is pretty much stagnant throughout most of the rest of the grid, so we'll turn our attention back to the front runners. AJ is now, he's putting the moves on the field now. He's just taking Adam Pelk at the hairpin if he can get himself clear. Nope, Nissan maybe lower trim or something. Manages to hang on to the entry of the spoon curve. That was weird. That looked like Adam Pelk was just about driving through AJ Knickel, yet Knickel's car was unfazed. That is a bad chicane for Pelk. Vladimirak is poised to take full advantage of that mistake. And I think that this 15 will be running off into the sunset with that, but not if Adam Pelk has anything to say about it. Too wide at turn one. Yeah, that one predictably contact made at the apex. And that's thrown Vladimirak's whole rhythm off. He struggles to control the car. but the end result is he loses the place to poor Yoshi. Red One's gained himself some breathing room. That's not good for anybody who's not a Red One fan. Like the field's kind of split into trains while I was zoning out. Apologies for that. I think AJ got ahead of Kevin Kepley. He will now pursue the three leaders. My dumb brain was about to say the 3 foreign leaders. Yes, and not sure what you mean by that, Riker, but I mean, everybody else behind them is American for the most part, except for the 3 that aren't, but... You know, that's just the sleep deprivation kicking in there. Nationality is not really a talking point here. Aiden McCarthy pits. Oh, he has shredded his right front. Oh my word. Looks like Adam Pelk is holding up a bit of a line here. Yoshi's going to take advantage, slip on through past Vladimirak. Oh, never mind. That was Kepley causing issues. He is out of control. Not sure if there was netcode or if contact was actually made between him and Vladimirak. I can't even necessarily blame my tiredness on not noticing Kepley. The camera just didn't look at him. I did not know he was there. And to anybody who might say, well, did you try looking? Yes, shut up. I think Yoshi's getting testy with Pelk. I think that's going to be a done deal in the rather near future. brain awful. I was perfectly awake until the race started. I kid you not. And then as soon as the race actually got underway, my brain has just hit a wall. I thought for it, no, I don't think anybody was in the grass there. It's currently a 7.89 for CL7. Aiden McCarthy demoted to 10th after his pit stop. I don't know if all the cars behind him have pit. I think it's safe to say that Joel Grant has not, that's for sure. I think Ganesh has. I don't know if Watterson has. And Boyles is in the dirt already, not too far away from being lapped. Scratch that, he has been lapped. We're not even halfway into the race. Oh my god. This is awful. Torturing myself with this commentary, I tell you what. It couldn't pit while I was zoning out and dozing off. Mirak is third on the pit cycle, which is funny to think. Red one is going. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, he will pit on the caution. I forgot. I was wide awake then. I don't know how I forgot that, other than just because my brain's not working at all. Asia has pitted. Marcus Snow needs to pit. That's non-negotiable. I don't remember the format, but I pray it's a single race. I will simply not be awake through a sprint after this. Red One's tires are looking like they will probably actually go straight to the end. He's put 15 laps on those. That's pretty well over half life still. Fuel's probably the slightly bigger concern. That's not really a huge one yet, per se. But of Mirak boxes. So we are back to the previous state of being. The only difference is that I think Yoshi... Oh, that's some sand. There's a flag ahead of him as well. Voil's looking ready to go a second lap down in 17 laps. Yeah, we're in the... Thank God for that. I mean, I suppose, yeah, this will be like clocking in at 45 minutes, so... They're about almost closer to 50, I think, by the time we're actually done. Looks like the closest thing that resembles a battle on the track right now is Kevin Kepley's working on getting up to the back of Killian Watterson, who I don't think has even pit yet, so either that or he has been very brutal on his fuel tank. Red One pits. I guess maybe he didn't think those mediums could go another 10. His teammate will not follow suit. It might also be fuel. And he just figures it's worth to take softs to the end if he's pitting again anyway. Well, joke's on you, because even if you do that, my tablet's pretty far away from me right now. If I actually, like, just completely pass out, I will not hear anything. I don't think that gap between Yoshi and Ridwan is going to last too long. And he's probably going to drive away from his other teammate in the process. Aiden McCarthy struggling to keep it between the curbs. And AJ Knickel has Ladimirak for company. Ladimirak on fresh soft tires. He's going to have a big pace advantage right now. Forced the long way round at the hairpin. That was not likely to go Gary's way. Gets the run out though. So he's going to once again try and insert his vehicle somewhere that I wouldn't really necessarily have put it. Down the inside at Spoon, leaves a nose in. AJ has to give the room, and he almost runs himself out of racetrack. He more or less did, actually. A bit of, I guess, elbows out, we'll call that, from Ladimirak. Although I do wonder if maybe Gary hasn't underfueled his car a little versus AJ, who still has over half the tank in the vehicle. A strong exit from the chicane will leave Gary safe from Canadian invasion for now. And now it's a three-car train. Kepley recently overtook Watterson, and now Marcus Snow, Kepley's teammate, has joined the fun. But the NSX has actually gotten back past Kepley. There's a bump draft from Kepley's teammate. They're going to go door to door. Net code spinning Kevin Kepley into the sand pit. He'd probably be beached out there if this were real life. Sure enough, that lead has evaporated very quickly between Hamza and Yoshi. Things would have been very spicy if that had been a safety car with what happened to Kepley. Watterson now still fighting Marcus Snow. That battle will be over quickly, though, as he had a bit of an excursion at the exit of the S's there. Yoshi he's trying to cling on. I don't know if he'll have a whole lot of success, though. The pace difference in those soft tires is going to be extreme right now. Just yawned for 5 straight seconds. Him almost out of breath from that. Nose to tail still at the hairpin, more or less. Yoshi is giving it everything he's got to stay in the lead. He's obviously committed to taking these mediums straight to the flag. And now he's just trying to be the first one to get to see said flag, but I still don't think it's going to happen unless Ridwan really fumbles the bag here with the faster, newer tires. Too wide at 130R. That's a decision. Yoshi remains steadfast. And that is a really good chicane for the 41 car. That is what the doctor ordered right there, because without that, Yoshi would be toast. He might still be toast if he's not careful here. Nope, nothing doing. A little further down the order, and AJ Knickel is trying to get by Aiden McCarthy. Ladimirak has already managed that, and I did not notice this transaction. I like McCarthy's livery because it reminds me of the old race modifications from GT1 and 2. Just the giant Gazoo Racing sticker just plastered on the side of the car, and not a whole lot going on besides that. I think Itkinen is starting to get... Yeah, he's starting to make his way back up towards these two. As Yoshi has continued to hold on to the lead for all it's worth. Ridwan dummy to send. He has run himself out of racetrack. That is a spinning Australian. He managed to keep the car going the correct direction, but here comes the Finnish Jonas Itkinen. He's going to re-overtake Ridwan. That is a critical and frankly uncharacteristic error from the reigning Super GT champion to have just clipped a little too much exit AstroTurf at that spoon, not 130R. What are we doing with that braking? So Boriyoshi has breathing room once more. 6 laps to go. Meanwhile, oh boy, another 130R madness. AJ Knickel is going for a ride. The camera didn't really help us figure out what actually happened there, but it was not good for AJ Knickel. So make that 2 big spins on the same lap. While Luke Allen and Adam Pelk, we would just have like the 3 longest standing ARC drivers running 6, 7, 8. Luke Allen has a big run. He might be taking the 7, will be taking 7th away, I reckon. Adam leaves door there, barges the 7 out of the way. There's only one way things can seem to go at turn 1. It's either you just kind of door check the guy or you just don't get the move. Now Ridwan's gone and grabbed himself a half-second decel penalty. That's the first I have witnessed of that all day, as Joel Grant is attempting to scatter out of the way of the leaders. He's not doing the most amazing job of this. Oh, big itch. Ow. Gowan's still there. He may have been doored out of the way, but that didn't exactly, remove him from the equation. Ow. These coughs are getting drier and drier the longer I strain my throat for. The 3 FR racing cars are each about 2¼ seconds apart. 5 laps remaining. Still all to play for, I would think. Itkinen is going to be quicker than Yoshi, as Yoshi's tires are soon going to be falling off the car. Itkinen will have to worry about his fuel a little bit, I would think. While Ridwan is all good to the end, he just has to recover from his mistake a moment ago, regroup, and go get his teammates without doing something astronomically foolish again. In the meantime, I totally missed Luke Allen getting done with Adam Pelk and putting a bit of space between him and the ECR driver as well, which leaves the whole entirety of the field outside of the top 3 pretty spread out. I feel like that's more common than it seems like it really should be. FR Racing just ends up being so dominant in many of these ARC races on GT7 that it feels like the only competition is between them. It is FR Racing's track, and the other 11 should be pleased that they're allowed to even race on it. That's the vibe I get sometimes. This is netcode. It's been mentioned in the pre-race stuff that his internet is not what it used to be. He's had to switch to a hotspot just so he can stay in the lobby for the duration of the race. It does mean he shuffles a little bit. It's not constant though. And that's not really my problem as the commentator, it's just something the drivers have to be wary of. Now they're about a second and a quarter apart. So yeah, Ikonen is closing in on Yoshi, and Ridwan is closing in on Ikonen. All three drivers putting just infinite distance between themselves and everybody else on the track. Voiles has been lapped 2.5 times. He himself has been lapped by 13th place at least once. Oh boy, now we're gonna get into chaos. Ikonen only 7/10 back from Yoshi. Ridwan's still trying to get within what would be metaphorical DRS range. For any future viewers watching from the next calendar year, that will date this pretty well. Half a second and decreasing will go on board with the 46 cars. He chases down a race leader for Yoshi through 130R and don't even think about lifting. These production model LMPs do not need to even concern themselves with 130R. Yoshi pulling down basically to the pit wall, trying to minimize slipstream effectiveness. Kind of a moot point, I think. I don't think Itkonen's really close enough yet. That's next lap he's going to want to worry about that, not this one. But he's going to be much slower through the S's than the other two. That means that we're pretty much going to be looking at a parade once we get out of turns 7 and 8. I thought that was fourth. No. Vladimirak's 13 seconds away. So, yeah, no interruptions. Just the three race leaders are gonna slug it out with 2.5 laps to go. I'm starting to sound like a NASCAR commentator with that kind of vocabulary. I mean, NASCAR did race here once, you know, like almost 30 years ago. The fuel light is on for Ikonen, though. That is a major concern for him. That means you have 2 laps of fuel left in the car. 2 laps of left in the fuel, yeah. Rikerism. There you go. There it is. I'm surprised I've done as well as I have, all things considered, other than the fact that I nearly fell asleep in the middle part of the race. I'm sure I probably was considered unconscious for a few minutes, actually. Yeah, we are definitely just straight up nose to tail now. Again, I don't think Ikonen really got the run he needed. Yeah, I knew it was only the east layout. The onion rings. Truly the love it or hate it layout of motorsports. We'll be seeing the white flag next time we hit the start-finish straight. Ikonen cannot physically be much closer. He's gonna go too wide. Yoshi's gonna just let him have it. That's a call. Does he just know that Ikonen doesn't have the fuel to get to the end? Is he more worried about the Australian behind him, who does undoubtedly have enough fuel to get to the line? Even his fuel light is turned on. Maybe he thinks he needs to save. He probably doesn't know the guy that he just let by also has to save, even more than he does. So this race is almost pretty much in Ridwan's hands because of fuel. And that, I suppose, is probably why he made that second pit stop, because he just didn't put enough fuel in, or he couldn't put enough fuel in when he filled the tank on the first pit stop, because he took that on like lap 2 or 3. Ikoninen's gotten distance. Ridwan's gotten a taste of the rear bumper of Yoshi's car. White flag flying for Ikonin. Will his gas tank carry him to the checkered flag? Or will Yoshi's carry him? Will anybody have enough in their tank, other than Ridwan, obviously? He saved his stamina for the end. Stamina. Ah! Riker, it's a flipping gas I don't know. This isn't Olympics, Riker. Just because I mentioned onion rings a minute ago, it's not the Olympic rings. Could be the Olympic rings. Or just the Audi logo. That was dirt kicked in the air. Bated breaths as both these two try to make their way to the line on fumes. I think would be putting it lightly, especially looking at Jonas Ikoninen's gas tank. He needs to make effectively 4 more turns, but he doesn't have the distance to coast, so he's either done a mathematical genius and he's going to basically run out over the stripe, or he is going to tire at the last and Yoshi or Ridwan are going to seize victory from the jaws of defeat. 130R, Ridwan wanted to go too wide, thought better of it. He's going to end up crossing him over at a flat-out turn. Such is the grip difference. Bit of argy-bargy there. Jonas has the fuel. Jonas Ikonin wins from Suzuka. Ridwan sneaks to second. Yoshi loses it at the final chicane of racing. That was fuel saving and a half. Gary Ledemirak will come home in a distant 4th place, followed by Aiden McCarthy in 5th. A strong performance from basically the lone wildcard representative. No! KVM representative. I don't know if we can even count you. I think he went from 7th to 4th, or 6th to 4th, one of the two. Nichols 6th, the 7 car does get 7th. Adam Pelk. Strong showing early race, strategy demotes him to 8th. That was a transition and a half. Marcus Snow, with rubber spheres that only barely resemble racing tires, will come home in 9th. Kevin Cupley 10th after some incidents, particularly one of note with killing Watterson here, and the other Honda, who is, I think, just missed the final chicane. Yes, he has. He had to make one more turn, man. Cameras. And that wraps things up from Suzuka. With him in 11th, and yeah, I mean, you're still on the track, but yeah, Jonas Ikonin with teaching a class on fuel saving. This fuel light came on with 2 3/4 laps to run. And, well, I don't know if he'll meet minimum weight requirements after that, and I'll just say that much. Luckily, that doesn't exist in ARC, because we're not the FIA. There we go. He won from 3rd on the grid, no less. My tablet was on this entire time. Oh, because of the... It turned on for the... I wonder if how long I was actually out for. Anyway, sleeping commentators and empty fuel tanks aside, that wraps things up from Suzuka. Trying to find the schedule here. Next is a week from now. I will not be here because I'll be at a convention. But it is Kyoto Park. I guess I'm more so just telling the drivers this at this point, because unless I get home really early from the convention, I will not be commentating that. And even if I am home in time, I will probably be exhausted. So, about 5 minutes. Well, it clearly worked. I was able to get through the rest of the race with only a couple of yawns. So I feel like... Did I even miss anything in those 2.5 to 3 laps? I feel like that was probably a worthwhile trade-off, so I was awake to actually call a battle for the win. Regardless, that is it from me. Barring unforeseen circumstances or me just having infinite energy next Sunday. The race will be happening at Kyoto Park, but I may not be commentating until then. Until my next stream, whenever it might be, goodbye.